I enjoyed it, and I think what I enjoyed the most was I got enough money out of that to make a car payment.
Did you really?
Yeah. I was about a month behind. I'm all caught up
car,
now.
too.
Right.
Who do we have representing the plaintiffs?
That's me, Your Honor. Harold P. Cheatham from Rob Cheatham and Steel at your service.
Go Cheatham. Proceed, Lawyer Cheatham.
Your Honor, the law says a person cannot portray a private individual in a piece of fiction so that that person is identifiable, and at the same time hold that person up to ridicule and embarrassment in his own hometown. And that is exactly what's happened to my clients, these poor, miserable, pathetic people.
And that's exactly why I'm going to throw the book at him. I'm going to throw.
But you know, James, we've known you a while.
Long time.
I'm sitting here looking at you. You look different.
I had cosmetic surgery. I had a facelift. Phase 1, I'm going to go back again. See, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but I was just so reluctant to do anything that would take away from my natural beauty.
You must have had a big part in the movie.
Well, I got Ray to co-sign.
Oh, Ray co-sign. You made the car payment
I
with
said,
what he
this is
paid.
going to cost a lot. I need a co-signer for this surgery.
I didn't know you were going back again, though.
Yeah, I got to go back again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, you'll have to do another movie.
But we can make payments.
What are they
You may have to
doing-
sell the car.
What are they doing in phase 2?
Phase 2? Mm-hmm. Well, just some more stuff, And then I think I'm going to get some hair. I'm going to buy some hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Calm down, Goob.
And I wanted help. I wanted some help with the rest of the body, and they just said it was beyond help.
Yeah, I got you.
So, so I'm going to tell them I just take a face shot of it.
I'll introduce you to this bagpipe player I met, and I think he knows how to do that.
Oh, does he? And I know, being average Americans, every day of your life, this thought goes through your mind at least once. Some mornings when you wake up, it's the first thought on your mind. And that is, wonder why anybody wants to be on Family Feud. Well, here's what I think. I keep visualizing some family out around Nebraska or Iowa, sitting around the dinner table one evening. The husband says, honey, you know what? They ought to be a way that we can let this whole country know our family's illiterate. Now, wait a minute. I know everybody here in Des Moines knows it already. I mean, coast to coast, just let them know we don't have a lick of sense. So you end up watching them on the show. The lady introduces everybody. Now, Richard, I'd like for you to meet our handsome son, Eric. And that makes you sit up straight because you can see Eric's ugly. Eric's a senior at UCLA. He'll be graduating this year. And you're thinking Eric's going to do all right on this show. He's going to college. Now, later on in the program, it's Eric's turn to answer. And we all know what tough questions they have on Family Feud. Now, see, once again, in Mississippi, that line won't work. Down there, when I say, you know what tough questions they have on Family Feud, the whole audience is going, oh, yeah, boy. Anyway, the question for Eric is, name one of the states that begins with the letter K. And of course, Eric is stumped on this. But just before the buzzer sounds, he says Connecticut. Am I upset with Eric? No. It's that family of his. Good answer. Good answer. Think about this. You go into a grocery store, you buy a lemon pie, bag of lemon candy. You read the label, it'll say made with artificial flavoring or made with imitation lemon. Now you go to the other side of the store to get some furniture polish, they got lemon pledge. On the can it says made with real lemon. That bothers me. We're eating the artificial junk and we're spraying the good stuff on the coffee table. I'll tell you all what's wrong with America today. Giant cookies. That's right, them big cookies. You get them over at the mall. You got one cookie, size of a hubcap. Cost $8. That ain't right. Remember until a few years ago, a cookie was like yay big. Get a whole bag of them for $1. I remember as a little kid getting ready for school, my mother would say, Junior, that was me, you want a cookie in your lunch? I said, yeah, that'd be good. Now mother says to her child, son, you want to take a cookie to school with you? Well, yeah, if I get somebody to help me carry it. See, there's a lot of things out there that don't make sense these days. Every store you go into, they got these little machines. You put a quarter in there, get your pulse, your heart rate checked. You know what I'm talking about? It bothers me that you can get your heart checked at Pizza Hut. Does this make any sense? I can't see a guy going into Pizza Hut saying, yeah, this order's to go. Give me a large Super Supreme, double cheese. I love cholesterol. Give me a lot of jalapeno peppers. I want to remember this pizza till next week. I'll have a pitcher of beer while I'm waiting. And what the heck, I might as well get my heart checked while I'm here. And listen, think about this. Department stores are practicing medicine. For almost 20 years, we think it's all right. Let's say you go over to Sears and Roebuck just to look around. And by the way, if you notice, that's what we all do at Sears now. Nobody buys anything over there. Well, you're off this afternoon. What you gonna do? Well, I'll tell you. I think I'll go over to Sears and look around. All right. You're over at Sears. You're in the lower level, the basement. That's the hardware department. All you're doing is checking out what's new with Black & Decker. You ain't gonna buy nothing. You're just looking. Now you get ready to leave. You go around the lawnmowers. Well, let me interrupt this a minute. Lawnmowers. On every lawnmower you've ever seen, not a sticker, not a label, embedded, molded into steel so you can't ever erase it. It says, keep hands and feet away from blade. You know what that means? Sometime in the past, some nut has said to his wife, honey, come here, let's trim them toenails of yours. You know, people should laugh every day. It's good for you. The problem is you can't go out and see a comedian every night of the week. You people have got to learn to amuse yourselves. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips. Like, for instance, the next time you're the lead car in a funeral procession, make a wrong turn. Oh, what the heck? Lead everybody through a car wash. Hot wax for the bereaved. They like that, you know. And my favorite thing, you can do this anytime. The next time you're in the supermarket, put things in other people's buggies when they're not looking. And then get behind them in the checkout line. I swear, you'll see them, they're just like this, like. I don't remember getting that. Then they'll pay for it. You think about this. I'm going to make you feel better about classroom violence. Now, you follow my theory on this. And I say this tonight because I want you to leave here feeling better about everything. See, what we used to think was a big problem was a big problem. Our parents and forefathers, a big problem to them was seeing a son having to go off to war. That was something to worry about. And now, with this generation coming along, we're just paralyzed with fear. We're just worried silly over nothing. You know what the biggest fear in America is today? Secondhand smoke. What we gonna do? Look. Oh, look, he lit up. Get in the house. He lit up. I've been all over the country, and I know that there's more good people out there than bad. I know there is, because I've been all over the place. Just we think everything's out of control because we don't want to take responsibility no more. Like this classroom violence. Now you figure this out. This is going to make you feel good, because I don't think there's no problem to that at all. The first schoolhouse was built in 1621, a year after the Pilgrims landed. Now let's think about this. For the next 370 years, think about that. 370 consecutive years, there was no such thing as a small child taking a weapon into the classroom. It's a brand new thing in society. You know why? If I was 12 years old, or you, if I was 12 years old and had a handgun, you know what my daddy would have done with it? Shoved it up my and then he'd have dared me to But my daddy was a man. He had a backbone like a steel rod, and he was in charge. I'm the only person that can tell you the exact day classroom violence will end. The day the teacher shoots back. All we need to do is open fire on these rugrats just one time. And from that day forward, every parent in America will suddenly have time to search the kid's bedroom. They'll search his dresser drawer. And before he leaves for school, they'll search him. And they'll say, you better not have no damn gun. That teacher will kill your ass. And you all know that this is true. Look, we respond to every tragedy in life with food. A covered dish. We'll knock on somebody's front door and go, sorry to hear about your son-in-law. Here's some baked beans. And by the way, and speaking of a covered dish, you ever notice how people will spend more time talking about the food and who brought which dish than they do the poor fellow who died? Here's this guy, he hasn't even been buried yet. But all the conversation is going like this. Well, I see Elizabeth brought that macaroni salad. I knew she'd do this. I guarantee you one thing, if it had been somebody on her side of the family, she'd have brought some kind of meat. When my cousin died, never talk about my side of the family, he's the one who drilled himself to death. Hey lady, this ain't funny. What happened was he had this high-powered Black & Decker drill, and he was going to put the screw back in his cowboy belt buckle. I told him, I said, I think I'll take that belt off first. He said, don't tell me how to use my drill. I said, okie dokie. He gets about halfway through and sneezes. Anyway, when he died, that being my side of the family, guess what she showed up with? 11 deviled eggs. Now, who in the world makes an odd number of deviled eggs? We think she ate one on the way over here. But here's the way the Baptists do it. The moment we hear someone has been admitted into the hospital, we go grocery shopping. When we hear they have been moved into intensive care, we start cooking. And if they should get better, we'll just freeze it. We have so many laws in our country now that are what we call feel-good legislation.
Oh, boy.
Like the law that just passed in New York State. I think it takes effect in January, where by law now, McDonald's is required by law to put a piece of fruit or vegetable in the Happy Meal. That's the law. Well, you know, we're talking about that nationwide.
Here we go.
But really, it's by law. That's because you have all these. We have a generation of people now that don't know really how to be parents.
Right.
Like if they want some people want the McDonald's to quit advertising the Happy Meal so much. And here's what I've said: when I have the privilege,
Secretariat is off and running.
well, no, I'm just saying when I have the privilege,
Right.
to speak to or entertain any of these brain dead soccer moms.
Right.
Here's what I'll tell them. The fast food industry didn't start yesterday.
Right.
It was started in the 1930s by the White Castle and the Crystal Corporation, and then followed a few years later in the early 50s with McDonald's and so on. So fast food's always been around. When we were growing up, and most people who listen to us now, when we were growing up, me and my little brother, we saw a zillion things advertised on television we wanted. Now listen up, soccer moms.
Oh, boy.
Here's what my mama said to us. No.
Right.
Sometimes she would spell it out. I said no, N-O.
Could you see your mama or your daddy saying, every time my little boy sees that commercial, he wants one of them, I'm going to write my congressman?
And hell, they just wait on it. But I tell you what, folks, at least in this part of the country, the Midwest, the Southeast, see, we have to deal with the very worst Mother Nature can throw at the human race. See, on the West Coast, California, they don't have tornadoes, and they don't have hurricanes. That's just on this coast. Tornadoes occur in the Midwest, the Southeast. New England, like Vermont, Rhode Island, they don't have tornadoes. You've heard the expression, it's biblical, and your mother has said it. You've heard it. God never gives us more, or puts more on us than we can handle. That's how come he sends that stuff to us. He would never send a tornado to damn California. Hell, they just couldn't deal with it. That's why all they get, that's what I call silly weather, limp-wristed weather. Like mud's like mud, it's damn mud. Where else in America would mud be a natural disaster? Down here, we put big wheels on something and get out and play. Is it just me, or does it seem like tornadoes in the news more than they used to be? I mean, every week there's a tornado somewhere. Of course, I'm from tornado country. I live in Georgia. And I know there's a lot of heartache, there's a lot of tragedy. We hate to see it on the news. But I got this theory I've come up with after a lifetime of watching news coverage or tornadoes. I believe there's a conspiracy to make those of us who live in tornado country to look ignorant on TV. Don't you find it odd that after thousands of tornadoes, thousands of destroyed homes over the years, they never can interview anybody that's been to the dentist? You have never seen on the evening news a tornado victim from a trailer park in a three-piece suit. A monogrammed shirt. Going, yes, this was rather devastating. A tree fell on the Lexus. And there's quite a bit of rubble in our hot tub. I believe with all my heart that when a tornado hits, the news director at the local TV station, he tells his reporter, get out to the trailer park and interview a dumbass. And try to find one who's married to a fat woman. And listen, have you noticed that everything's destroyed except for the produce sign? And the camera zooms in on that. Tomatoes for sale, spelled with an R. 45 cents a pound or 2 pounds for $1. Now the whole world knows we can't spell, and hell, we can't add either. And here's the couple they interview. The husband, the head of the household, he's always real sickly, anemic looking, real frail, like 112 pounds. 108 without the belt buckle. Wearing a John Deere cap. Got that out of layaway. He's got a tattoo on a wooden arm. It's so funny. He saw a sign at the mall, tattoo it while you wait. He said, hell, I ain't gotta wait. Got a tire gauge in his pocket. That's in case the trailer don't seem level. And he's wearing a key ring with 2 pounds of keys. What the hell is that all about? There's only 3 doors in this man's life. Truck, trailer, and tool shed. Now there it says next to his wife. His wife, God bless her, weighs 400. Wearing those tight polyester pants. You know, little irrigation ditches and all. Why do they wear that? Don't they know how that looks? I know they're fat, but hell, they're not blind. How can a 400-pound woman put on tight polyester pants, then look in a mirror and go, all right? And she's always wearing... I just thought of this, I'm going to throw it in. She's always wearing flip-flops. Because she thinks her feet are her best feature. And sadly, she's right about that. And she's always wearing a beeper. Let me tell you all about fat people and beepers. They should wear the old kind of beeper, the one that made a noise. They got these modern high-tech ones now. They don't make a noise. They simply vibrate. Well, trust me on this. If you weigh 400 pounds, you're missing calls. you'll feel something, you'll just think it's sweat. Yeah. And what does the guy always say about the tornado? I thought it was a freight train. There's not a railroad track within 100 miles. But this rocket scientist thinks the locomotive just made a left into his driveway. Folks, look, I am not the smartest guy in the world. But I can tell you this, if I was sitting in my den at home and just thought that there's a train somewhere near my mailbox, my financial would be out of that. And by the way, let me give you a little tip too. You remember a few years ago when the tornado went downtown Nashville, Tennessee? It went right downtown. Tornadoes just don't go downtown. And to make sure that never happens where you live, here's what you need to do. On the outskirts of your city, put up a decoy trailer park. That'll be like cheese in a trail. I tell you what, you pay close attention and see if this right here for most of you out there tonight, see if this don't bring back some precious, fond childhood memories to you about your mother and that covered dish. You think back a long time ago now when you was like, oh, just yay big. It'd be late in the evening, early nighttime. Everybody's out on the front porch after supper, about half asleep. Pot roast to do that to you. Remember, that was the good old days in America where a mother forced the kids to overeat. Made them eat. All right, y'all don't eat all that pot roast. I ain't going to make another one. Well, hell. Do you remember this? Remember as a little kid, we'd all be sitting on the doorsteps, the kid would. All the grown folks could spend an hour discussing among themselves the last time it came a good rain. To a small kid, that never made no sense. But we couldn't say nothing back in those days. You couldn't back talk your folks. But they'd be sitting on the front porch, somebody would go, boy, we sure could use a good rain. Hell, it ain't rained real good since that last Friday in May. Somebody's going, no, hell, it's rained since then. No, I'll tell you how I know. They're Friday before Memorial Day. Memorial Day is last Monday in May. Friday before that, my car broke down on I-20. Had to walk 3 miles to the payphone. I got soaked. Last damn Friday in May. So I said, no, I'll tell you what. It rained the second Saturday in June. Reason you don't know, you was in jail that weekend. Then he said, well, that wasn't my fault. If y'all got a bondsman, I could have got out there on Friday. Then somebody else will say, well, anyway, we need rain. Well, yeah, I didn't say we didn't need no rain. And in our little hearts as children, we were sitting on the doorstep thinking to ourselves, who gives a rat's ass when it rains?
They have some food for us down the hall. James Gregory, our comedian friend from Atlanta, every time I look down there in the food line, you are down there.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think I've gained 3 or 4 pounds in the past 2 days. Somebody asked me, they said, James, I think you're putting on weight. I said, well, I just had breakfast. Sometimes, it depends on what time of day you get back there. Sometimes I'm the only one eating the real food. At lunch yesterday, they had sugar-free bran muffins. I asked the lady, I said, are you kidding me? Sugar-free means it's not sweet. There's no vanilla chocolate frosting. There's no cream cheese in the middle. There's no jelly. That's what I used to call a rock, you know. I noticed, and I learned in traveling, when I do my comedy shows, there's always another comedian on the show with me. And it's usually a guy that's much younger. Like age-wise, he's a generation behind me. And I don't know where in the dickens these young guys, I don't know where their mother was. I mean, these guys were not raised right. I mean, they don't smoke. A lot of them don't even drink. I mean, ain't that odd? It's like working with little girls, really. I mean, we go out to lunch. I'm embarrassed to go to lunch with them. I wouldn't be embarrassed if they were women. These are grown men in a public restaurant, a 5-page menu, and what do they get? Tuna tomato. Tuna tomato. Or an $8 Caesar salad. You think about this now. It's 4 ounces of romaine lettuce. 4 ounces. And they go, it's just $7.95. Let's all get one. I'd get a whole bucket of chicken for $8. You know? And everybody's in this health craze now. The political correctness is even taking over our eating habits. I'm just not going to jump on that bandwagon. I mean, I went to the doctor. I had a complete physical from head to toe in 1968. Why do I need a second opinion? I mean, and they'll make fun of my food because while they're sitting there grazing around their lunch, they just graze and interrogate the waiter. Was this butter? Is this margarine? Was this fried? Was this grilled? Come on, eat. Just eat. You know? While they're going through all that, I'm sitting there with chicken fried steak, extra gravy, mashed potatoes, extra gravy, a lot of cornbread, a lot of butter, and I mean real butter. None of that little wimpy stuff like, I can't believe it's not butter. Come on. And they also have, I can't believe it's not butter spray. It's a butter mist. I'm going to tell you all something. If your daughter is dating a guy who sprays his butter, there's not going to be any grandkids. I'm just telling you. I come from a background. My mother used to say that an empty stomach is the devil's playground. You know how some people say, I can't do so-and-so on an empty stomach. I can't do so-and-so on an empty stomach. My family, we can't eat on an empty stomach. If we're awake, we're eating, you know. But those young guys I just talked about, they'll make fun of me. They'll point at my food. And they'll go, you know what that greasy food's going to do to you? I'm like, yeah, fill me up. I have to eat that way. I need to maintain my strength. Because I'm usually one of the pallbearers. when my healthy friends drop dead working out. And we all know that does happen, you know. And we had a young fellow, a radio personality in Atlanta, Georgia. This was on the news. He worked at a radio station. He dropped dead. He was 31 years old, 31. And he was, after work, he'd go to the gym and he'd work out. He was trying to press weight X number of pounds and had a heart attack. And they talk about what a tragedy that was. I'm thinking, well, you know, come on. You're lifting heavy stuff after you've punched out. Who would do that? I'm off work, let me go lift something heavy. The reason I'm still kicking, because while he was doing that, I was laying on the couch watching Andy Griffith. Yeah. So you have to be careful. It's okay to take care of yourself, but don't get it. This is extreme physical fitness. I got a tour. I name every tour. And this one is exercise can kill you. It's on the news all the time. But you've heard stories about some fellow who will drop dead jogging. Drop dead jogging. Imagine that. He's got car payments of $300 a month. And the buffoon is out running. And I've never heard a single story about anybody dropping dead, eating banana pudding, watching TV. You know. You know what we got now, what I think? It's what I call the pass the law generation. The pass the law generation. It's a whining. There's no, I ain't talking about the male species, they'll always be around. But men, as my father was, and as your father was, you know, we got the young generation of men coming along. This Phil Donahue Oprah syndrome got to them. You know, these non-smoking, granola munching, anemic-looking, limp-wristed house husband sons of This is right. Driving a Hyundai and like it. Love to go to the mall and pick out drape patterns. Here's why I call them the whining generation. You know, we've been electing them to office now. Here's how it works. That man just bought a handgun. Pass the law and make him stop. That man just lit a cigarette. Pass the law and make him stop. That man just got on a bicycle without a helmet. Please pass the law and make him stop. That man just told an ethnic joke and it hurt my feelings. Could you please pass the law so he can't do that no more? Here's what got me on the subject, these curfew laws. As I travel from city to city, one after another are enacting curfew laws for teenagers. And here's the sad part, is that most adults, by the surveys they conduct, most adults now support curfew laws for kids. I don't. It scares me to death. For 70 years, when the Soviet Union had curfew laws for its private citizens, and let's define what a curfew law is. That's a form of government telling a private citizen what time he has to be back in his own driveway at night. Well, when the Soviet Union had those laws, and we still had men in this country, we would have gone to war over that. And now we got this young, wimpy, weak generation. They can't take care of their own damn 13-year-old kid. They want the mayor to do it. Ah, damn. Oh. It just, you think my daddy needed a law to get my butt home by 12? No. When my daddy made a threat, I knew he had the strength to follow through because I knew what he had for breakfast. You know, if I could be serious for a moment, you know, you hear people say all the time that we Americans aren't as civilized as we used to be, not as humane as we once were. After all these years that have gone by, half the people blame that on Vietnam, the other half blame it on Watergate. I blame the whole situation on Colonel Sanders. And I know you're sitting there and you're saying, I hope he explains that. I will, that's my job. You realize before Colonel Sanders came along, the only thing that ate dinner out of a bucket was a hog? Now he's got everybody doing it. Let's say you go down to the Kentucky Fried Store. They're waiting on the man in front of you. He's about 5'8". He weighs 340 pounds. He can't hardly breathe. And I'm glad to see y'all find that funny. Yeah, man's gasping for air. Yeah, we'll laugh at that. You're my kind of people. Now, you know how they got the menu on the wall over the counter? All this man can do is breathe and point. Like, and the girl says, "Can I help you?" I feel so stupid doing this. At this point in the show every night, you know what thought goes through my mind? James, why don't you just go get a job? It's too late. You know, I could have been a forklift operator. I could. My dad was, and his dad before him. When I got out of high school, my dad could have got me on down there at the plant where he works, just like that. But did I take it? No. I want a bucket of chicken. And then the girl says something ridiculous like, how do you want that cooked? You want original, extra crispy, or what? Trust me, people, this man don't care. She could spit in there, he don't care. Give him a live chicken, he'll kill it. She's talking to a human being that's about to eat a bucket of food.
No.
Everybody's got one person in their family or one close relative that is so stupid. It's the one you can't argue with. I tell you what, it's the same relative that keeps missing the 6 o'clock news because he don't know what time it comes on. I got an uncle that way. They did about my uncle. The bank called him up, told him that his account was overdrawn, so he mailed him a check. His dream in life is to own a 2-story mobile home. I told him, I said, Uncle Robert, there's no such thing. He says, well, they ought to be for people that's got money. Anyway, we was over at his house one night watching television. The Muppets had this TV special on. Miss Piggy come on the TV screen, and my uncle said, I bet you that's not a real pig, I just bet it ain't. I mean, I don't care how many degrees you got hanging on the wall, you can't argue with that idiot. Well, Uncle Robert, I believe you're right about that. Well, heck yeah, I'm right. Let me tell you something. I've been around pigs all my life. I will say this. From the neck up, the whole head. That looks authentic. But a real pig wouldn't wear a dress like that. He's the kind of guy that brags on his dog all the time. You ever heard somebody say this when they're bragging on their dog? They'll say, he don't know he's a dog. He don't. He thinks he's one of us. I tell him, I say, you paid $100 for that puppy. Get your money back. He's got brain damage. If he don't know he's a dog, he's going to spend his whole life running around wondering to himself, why am I barking?
Now they're driving all around. You know what I like? When they're working on the highways, some of these signs they have, like right lane closed, used left lane. The second part of that sign insults my intelligence. Does the highway department think if they had a sign that just said right lane closed, that there would be thousands of us parked on the freeway going, what do we do? I mean, and some signs we don't need, some we don't even need, like the one that says road narrows. We don't need that, because we would just know. We go like, the road just got narrow. You know why they put a sign there? So some idiot won't turn to his wife and go, honey, I believe our car just got wider. But it's better than flying. Anything driving. There's no rest areas at 30,000 feet, As long as you don't drive with somebody who don't know how to drive. My relatives, my family, they can't drive. My friends can't drive. I'm the only one that can drive and read a book at the same time. Because we all got crazy relatives. I got one relative who drilled himself to death. He had this high-powered Black & Decker drill, and he's going to put the screw back in his cowboy belt buckle. I told him, I said, I think I'd take that belt off first. He said, don't tell me how to use my drill. I said, okie dokie. He gets about halfway through and sneezes. He'd have been all right, but while he's waiting on the paramedics, he backed it out.
Speaking of sitting on the front porch, I came up with this theory a few months ago. There's been so much talk in recent years about the moral breakdown in American society, the family unit falling apart, and the violence among the small children. It used to be that way, and it's that way now. So why is that? And they've analyzed this thing to death. Here's what happened. We made a mistake in this country years ago when we quit building houses with front porches on them. When everybody had a front porch, it was all more civilized. Get up there after supper, sit around, talk, sometimes just grunt. Like, damn. I ain't gonna never eat cooked cabbage again. And remember how you used to wave? Everybody that drove by, you go. Somebody go, who was that? You go, hell, I don't know. Well, you waved. Well, I didn't want them to think we was uppity. And remember how you could gossip about everybody drove down the highway? Somebody goes flying, you go, there goes that David Jackson, driving like a bat out of hell. Got a brand new car. How'd you get a new car? He ain't got no job. I'll bet you his daddy co-signed. He co-signs for all them kids. That's how come they didn't turn out to be worth a damn. But see, you can't do that no more. You know why? Ain't nobody got a porch. Everybody's got a damn deck. You can't raise a family out back on a deck. We need a porch like they had in Mayberry with Andy, Opie, and Barney out there. If they'd had a deck, Opie would be on drugs right now. And look at this thing. Look at this thing about neighborhood crime. We're all paralyzed by neighborhood crime. There's no neighborhood crime when I was little. You know why? Everybody's out on that porch. If the American people are so brave this day, here's how we conquer neighborhood crime. We all join the Neighborhood Watch program. Put that little plaque in our subdivision. This neighborhood part of Neighborhood Watch. Damn. Man, that's going to scare them off, ain't it? Some mass murderer head in your subdivision, see that plaque? Damn, they got a plaque! Here's how the Neighborhood Watch program works. Somebody goes, all right, it's your turn. This week is your turn. You be on the lookout. If you see anybody strange in the subdivision, you get on the phone. You call everybody else. We'll be out back on the deck. You call us. Now, here's why there's no neighborhood crime when I was little. I remember being out on the front porch with my dad and my little brother. Some guy would be walking down the road, and my dad would go, wonder who that man is walking down the road right there. My little brother said, I don't know, Daddy, I don't know him. My dad would go, he can walk down the road all he wants to. But he better not come in my damn yard. Well, see, you don't know that now. You know why? You're out back on the deck. The deck. You can't see nothing back there on that deck. And do you remember when the word porch used to be part of our vocabulary? Like somebody would say, you know, I had a glass of lemonade sitting somewhere. I bet you left that on the porch. Where'd I put that hammer? Look on the porch. Or somebody might say, what'd y'all do with that old refrigerator? We just sat on the front porch.
Has anybody fed you food when you were in the studio better than us?
I tell everybody that. And that's true. Dan McGinney, my other comedians, they'll tell you, I've told other studios this. I've told them, you know, Rick and Bubba's got food.
Oh, food.
I remember that. I didn't have much. I remember that food. This was several years ago. Remember, you have an audience there most of the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, oh yeah.
And somebody brought, it was homemade sweet potato casserole.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. How can I forget it, James?
Not like a casserole, like a cobbler.
Oh yeah.
We all had peach cobbler and apple cobbler.
Oh yeah.
This was sweet potato cobbler.
Oh yes.
When I left there, I was sick, not because it was bad. It was because I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
I ate everything there.
Yeah.
I was just stuffed. And I think the next time I saw you guys, I said, where's that lady that had the sweet potato cobbler?
I know.
You know, but you guys had so much food every time, different food, that I would just leave there stuffed.
Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember? And I will be very careful with this, but because, and I've had people say this about the Rick and Bubba show, and you're an example of this because we saw it happen. You get in here and we have such a good time, and the food adds to that. You do realize that most engineers will not let people eat in the studio, but we've never lived by that. And Bubba's even an engineer by trade, but we like food more than we like following those rules, and we don't even care if we damage equipment.
That's why it was so wonderful.
One year we were eating a fried turkey. Okay, and we had a fried turkey in here, and we were. I'm not going to get into the details of what happened. You forget you're doing a show because it really is like fellowshipping with your family, hanging out with your cousins, and all that. And so we're all eating, which adds to that. And at one point, I don't even think we're all getting up into the mic. We're just eating with the mic somewhere near us.
There's been a couple of times over the years where I made a mistake. I said something I should not have said.
Correct.
forgot was on the air.
Right.
We just lose sight of the fact that we're.
Exactly.
It's like we're out on the deck.
As a matter of fact, we have a state-of-the-art digital delay that we use in the studio, and it was all because of James Gregory.
This delay that we use, we named it James Gregory. And I remember looking at you, James. I'll never forget it. I said, "Hey, James, we're on the air," and you looked at me and you said, "Well, we better not be."
Now, you just have to trust me on this. All this happened beginning in 1983, and let me explain that to you. And you go to the library in the archives and look this up. In the summer of 1983, USA Today did a 2-part cover story on the shortage of fiber in the American diet. This is a true thing. And they concluded that if you and I didn't start eating fiber morning, noon, and night, we was all going to get colon cancer and be dead by next Thursday. And like the blind sheep we have become, we just followed that hook, line, and sinker. And we all got scared to death to eat normal anymore. We had to have that fiber. Everything had to be all natural. Fiber, fiber, fiber. Had to have it. That's why we can't get anything done in this country no more. We're all day. While we're on the crapper, the Japanese are building cars. In Japan, they just shit once a week. That's where they got that word bonsai. And we got scared of the food. Here's how scared we got. Started that whining about the law. Whine about the law. Whine. They ought to have a law. We need a labeling law. So that when I buy a can of goods at the store, on the label, there'll be listed everything that's in the can. I need to know before I buy it what's in the can. I need to know. That's why it takes the American people 5 hours to buy groceries now. It ain't the traffic, it ain't the checkout line, it's because you're reading that stuff. When you go to the grocery store next time, watch them. They'll just park the buggy. They'll park the buggy. They'll just park the damn buggy. Speaking of fiber. But hell, it's what you're used to. They'll park the buggy, they'll start to read it. Just read it before they put it in the buggy. Just read it. Just read it. I'm not a brilliant person, but trust me on this. If it says beans, damn it, it's beans. You know, if I could be serious for a moment. You know, you hear people say all the time that we Americans aren't as civilized as we used to be, not as humane as we once were. After all these years that have gone by, half the people blame that on Vietnam, the other half blame it on Watergate. I blame the whole situation on Colonel Sanders. And I know you're sitting there and you're saying, I hope he explains that. I will, that's my job. You realize before Colonel Sanders came along, the only thing that ate dinner out of a bucket was a hog? Now he's got everybody doing it. Let's say you go down to the Kentucky Fried Store. They're waiting on the man in front of you. He's about 5'8". He weighs 340 pounds. He can't hardly breathe. And I'm glad to see y'all find that funny. Yeah, man's gasping for air. Yeah, we'll laugh at that. You're my kind of people. Now, you know how they got the menu on the wall over the counter? All this man can do is breathe and point. Like, and the girl says, "Can I help you?" I feel so stupid doing this. At this point in the show every night, you know what thought goes through my mind? James, why don't you just go get a job? It's too late. You know, I could have been a forklift operator. I could. My dad was, and his dad before him. When I got out of high school, my dad could have got me on down there at the plant where he works, just like that. But did I take it? No. I want a bucket of chicken. And then the girl says something ridiculous like, how do you want that cooked? You want original, extra crispy, or what? Trust me, people, this man don't care. She could spit in there, he don't care. Give him a live chicken, he'll kill it. She's talking to a human being that's about to eat a bucket of food. Powerball is $29 million. I've got 100 tickets. And a gut feeling that I'm going to win the money. And here's how you'll know if I do. You'll never see my fat ass again. I know that here in Alabama you don't have a lottery, but when the jackpot gets like, to use your expression, way on up there, y'all will drive to the state line. But you just won't mess with it for $2 million. I know I got friends here in Birmingham, and I'll be talking to them on the phone from Atlanta, and I'll say, would you like me to get you some tickets this week? And they'll go, oh no, what's it up to? I go, well, it's just $2 million. They go, no, hell, I ain't gonna mess with it. Like if it's just $2 million, I just shouldn't stay here at Jiffy Lube. And you know what? You know people like this too. You know when you talk about winning the lottery, I think people are just embarrassed to admit that they would quit their job. People say this about winning the lottery and working, they'll go, oh, I don't think I'd quit working altogether. Now, what the hell does that mean? You got $15 million, but you're still going to get up early 2 mornings a week and go into Shoney's and set up that breakfast bar. Well, I'm the only one who knows how to do it. I mean, see, people ask me all the time. They say, now, James, I know you joke around a lot, but seriously, with the kind of job you've got, if you won that lottery, would you really quit working? I go, in a heartbeat. They go, well, what would you do? What would you do? I said, I sit on my front porch naked and wave at cars. See, if you've got $15 million, you can sit on your front porch naked. A family of 4 can drive by in a station wagon, and a little kid will point up there and go, look, Mama, that man's naked. She said, I know, honey, but he's got $15 million.